This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzanzua back again. It's that time of the night where we have to talk about the case. I know you've been waiting, but there's a lot of things that we needed to go through. One of those things is actually to understand what is going on. It is important for us to understand exactly what is going on, because if something does not make sense, it doesn't make sense. I guess now it's in front of you. We will present it the way it was in court, and you might get confused somewhere, but I guess we will all unpack together. Greetings to everyone. Thank you for waiting for us. Thank you for just clicking that like button. For those who have done so, thank you for those who have started commenting. As you can see, the comments are popping out. Greetings. Today's proceedings, towards the end for me, it was just giving certain vibes that we are going to unpack here. Emil, how are you feeling?
Yeah, uthola nama plastic. These plastic bags that I found, these plastic. Is it just coincidentally finding plastic bags?
When people say
it's weird.
When people say we are in a movie in this country, that's what they mean. And I can see people are exactly saying that, and now I believe it. So Emily, take us through what you had in this court, because I don't think many people will understand what happened exactly. So we'll try to go step by step as to what happened exactly, and what are we seeing in this court. Emily, it's your turn now.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again as we unpack another day of the Senzo Meyiwa trial. That is exhausting. Going nowhere, very slowly for the state, okay, in my opinion. So the focus continued on the work of the police when the confession statements were taken down from accused 1 and 2. Constable Jonathan was recalled to the stand, and Mshololo said that she has 2 occurrence book entries that she needed to ask the witness about. Now, after going through the occurrence books, Mshololo picked up from where Jonathan left off at a Forceller's court on the 19th of June. So according to the records, the accused was released at 13:30, but you say you left at 1400 hours. Reason for the release: not enrolled, remarks released. So that was her reading from the occurrence book. So accused number 2 was released at 13:30, and Jonathan said yes. Mshololo then said, but you are saying at 1400 hours, that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when you left, you were still giving backup for accused number 2. And Jonathan said, I mentioned that we were in the parking. The suspect went into the magistrate court with Sergeant Mohani. He was not accompanied by us. We were in the parking waiting until 2 o'clock to disperse. So Mshololo asked, when you left, you didn't know where accused number 2 was? And Jonathan said, no, he went outside the magistrate court. So Mshololo asked, and then from that entry, when accused number 2 was released at 13:30, he is booked again midnight at 12:40 at Phokeng police station. It's the occurrence book for the Phokeng police station for the date 20th of June 2020, and it's 12:40 in the morning. And suspect detained Sergeant Mohani of National Cold Case Investigation. The cell number was also listed there, and the name is Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi on Phokeng case 118 of 6/20 or 2020. Possession of live ammunition. Remember that it was narrated that they found a black plastic bag with ammunition with his case.
Yes.
It was narrated by.
So it's their tendency to hide this ammunition in a plastic.
Black plastic.
These
bags.
two guys.
Yeah, they like black plastic bags for bullets. So detained with no injuries for the period from Foslera's court from 1:30 up to this period. You said you did not provide any escort duties, and Jonathan said that's correct. So he allegedly signed the confession on the 19th, then taken to Rustenburg to search his room and open a case of possession of live ammunition, and then brought back to make another confession in front of Magistrate Cronier on the 24th. That's literally a summary of what was happening to accused number 2 from the 19th, or from the time he got arrested, the 16th, all the way until, let's say, the 24th of June. So we already know that the confession taken on the 19th, it was done by a police officer, and no interpreter or lawyer was present.
Yes.
And then what I'd like to know is how he was arrested on the 16th of June. I'd like that story. You know how we already have SIBIYA's story of how he was arrested. I think Ramos Sepele said it or put it to the court some time ago before. And now I'd like to get that version of accused number 2 of what was happening on the 16th. How did they arrest him? But I guess Buthelezi kind of gave us a picture of how they did it. So they did tell him that he was getting arrested for and what and who arrested him. So Mshololo then asked, was there an exchange of shifts? And is there any other police who came to give the escort to the SAPS? And Jonathan said no. Mshololo said, in all these occurrences, the 19th, the 24th, and the 5th of June, when you provided services to the SAPS, it was only you, your crew members, in all 3 occasions. Or you were changing. And Jonathan says that they were changing. How convenient after Mgomezulu kind of highlighted how he was all over the place.
If they were changing, where are those people they were changing with? Because
he just left after accused number 2 went into the court.
Not to say that we want to see those people.
No,
but
just
they should come and testify, right?
The record.
They should come and testify.
Maybe
like
they
everyone
have different stories to tell.
And there's no such. I don't think there are people that they were exchanging it. This team was the trusted team, as he put it. It was a trusted team for an investigator of this case.
They were changing.
Then they were not changing. With who?
And it's funny how
because you look at this SWAT team. Basically, they know each other. They were a small team. So who were they exchanging with? Was it the SAPS? Where are they if they were there?
Because you just look at how they left in Tanzi at Foslera's court. He didn't even see clearly whether he entered the court premises or not. He just left because his shift was over. Isn't that what he said? If there was a proper exchanging, something would have happened that is not you just vanishing after 2 o'clock because your shift is done.
And if there was a proper case to answer for, if something really occurred, such as that, there was going to be an order and cohesion of everything moving in a right way, synchronized.
Then Mshololo asked, but you were not changed in all these 3 occasions you attended. And Jonathan said it's a different dates, it's not consecutive dates. Let me make an example. If I was present on the 5th of June, on the 6th of June, it means it was someone else.
And who is that person? Where is that person? Or on the 5th of June, they didn't do anything. No activity was done because you were not there.
Where did they travel with with accused number 2 or 1? And I don't think there were any activities happening on the 6th.
When they were not there, nothing happened.
Maybe
by the looks of
Mshololo should
things.
have placed it there. This I put it to you that there were no occasions on the 6th. There was no traveling or movement of the accused.
Mm.
You understand? So Mjolola then said, let me rephrase. When you gave a backup to the SAPS in these 3 occasions, it was only you and your colleagues, not any other members. And Jonathan said it was members from their unit. So Mjolola asked for the details of his former supervisor, Mr. Zing, to be given to the state for Mr. Zing to be called to come and testify. Just to affirm if he was the supervisor really, and if
he did
got
give such
the
orders.
instruction from Brigadier Gininda to work with or to use Jonathan. And I think even Lering. Is it Lering, the one who came to testify next?
So just to keep a promise, I did went through the case that we were talking about, that someone was busy asking about. Yes, that evidence was not admissible.
Why?
The evidence of the other case, the one that the clip that we play.
Oh, the is it Krima? Or
Yes, yes.
Krecha?
Yes, that evidence was not admissible.
So the state re-examined and Baloyi introduced yet another additional information, which was the last page of Exhibit MM relating to accused number 2. Attached was the register. Baloyi asked, the state alleges that there were assaults and tubing and that you were present during those occasions, that you pushed back your seat against the knees of the suspect and pushed him hard, while Sergeant Mabena put a plastic over the suspect's head, and then you proceeded to a dumping place where there were steel tanks, where you stopped and you took accused number 2, uncuffed one of his hand and handcuffed him to a steel pole. And there's another occasion where a device was used to electrocute accused number 2 in the stomach. And thereafter you proceeded to the Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital, and thereafter you proceeded to the Orlando, and then next was disused ATMs where the accused was splashed with water, and it was during winter. Now all these allegations, is there a process the suspect could follow? Jonathan said, no, my lord. The suspect could open a case of assault. Jonathan has maintained that there was no torture.
So
notice how Baloyi has taken the judge's questions
yes,
and added
yes,
them to his re-examination.
exactly what I wanted. You've just took some words from my mouth, because
Very interesting.
The judge is giving memo. Baloyi is following the memo. You know, when your teacher keeps on saying, study chapter 4, study chapter 4.
This chapter is very important.
Why not? Why not do that? So Baloyi is following that. Based on that, in my own opinion, just based on that for now, and you'll see as we continue to demonstrate, based on what the judge is questioning, the judge is biased.
Yes.
And this is my opinion. The judge is 110% looking so biased
Towards the state.
towards the state.
Thank you. Good Nini, we've been tiptoeing around this.
There is no question
It's quite
that is
clear.
asked that seeks to clarify
For
really.
the defense.
He's using his powers to ask as if he's asking clarity-seeking questions, but he's literally emphasizing that there is nothing that these people did. And based on what you are
Driving
saying,
a narrative.
in all honesty, based on how we are seeing this case going, moving around certain police stations, that's a power. Right there, it's power. You can have a situation now, I can tell you now, you can have a situation where a Force Loras person moves with the person from Force Loras to Soweto, from Soweto to all this. That's power.
Pretoria, there's a lot of movement.
Only someone
of
that has power
accused.
can do that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
who are you going to report that person to? To a mere CSC person who's relegated to CSC, who also probably wants to get a promotion at some point.
Or maybe they don't want to get the promotion. Perhaps they are threatened. You know, maybe they do it, but they are threatened. And then now they have to take out that page or we'll cancel
the
whatever
movement of this
report
whole
was
thing.
there.
It gives mafia movement, and you when you are dealing with such, if it's a syndicate that is because if anything that we are being told here is to go by, you do not know how to deal with a syndicate.
No.
You do not know how to deal with someone who looks so huge and so big, showing such powers. Remember the appointment of this group of cold case. It comes from the national.
Yes.
And the fact that it comes from national, this is not a region. This is not. We're talking national. That person comes in any police station and do what he wants and leaves.
Yep.
And then you are telling me that that person was supposed to be reported.
There's a lot of authority. There's a lot of power. You know.
If someone can pull EMPD in this situation, which should be an independent entity, yes, supplement to SAPS,
yes,
but
they're supplementing.
they still
They're
have
not
their
doing
voice.
The work of the SAPS, because it feels like they were doing the work of the SAPS. You know, the work that was supposed
Because
to
a
be
good
done
question would
by
be,
the SAPS, the EMPD is doing that work.
a good question would be, right now as they're in court, is EMPD escorting these people every day, week in and week out?
In week out.
No,
That's
they
the
are
question.
escorted by SAPS.
So how come
We don't even see
EMPD
one uniform of EMPD there.
utilized?
All they are relegated to do this EMPD is to control traffic outside if they are there.
If they're still there. So Baloy then asked, it was put to you that the accused was traumatized. Are you aware if such a charge was opened against you? And Jonathan said no. So Baloy asked, did the accused lay any complaint with the Metro Police? And Jonathan said, not that I'm aware of. Now here's a scenario. You are tortured by people, you don't even know their names, right? And you are seeing that they are all police and they are all within this together.
And you
Just
go to
painting
police
a
and
picture.
report.
And there's a possibility that accused 1 and 2 are only finding out their names right now in court.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So how could they have possibly opened those cases
It's hard.
without knowing who even was putting the electrocution device on your body, without knowing their name per se, their full names?
Who to trust? Who are you going to trust? The same person is supposed to protect you is the same person that is ready. You know, you can almost equate this situation to a situation at home where a kid trusts their parent, and then if maybe a father or a mother decide to do something to that kid, they keep that thing for many years because there's confusion as to
There's
say,
confusion. That this
how am I
person is
even going to
supposed
break this
keep
thing
me
down?
safe.
You know?
It's
The same
thing
person
with
that
the
you trust.
police. They were supposed to secure their safety as captives, as people that have been arrested. But here you are doing more than what I would expect from a police officer.
And I'm
who
expected to
supposed
report to your brother.
feel safe under. And then I'm supposed to report you to your brother, to the same person who looks at you like a god in this case. You understand? Who looks at you with admiration because you are their superior, their senior. Now I must tell that person who's below you that you did the torturing, you tortured.
Someone who's got the capabilities of calling your supervisor at work. Someone who's got capabilities of
I
calling,
must report that.
for the lack of
How
a better word,
exactly
your
is it gonna work
manager.
out?
And you must report that.
So this is a very, very difficult. I see what the judge is trying to do, but it's not going to land here. It's not going to convince a majority of people.
It is not already convincing anyone.
It's not doing the things that he wants to be done. It's not going to work. I see him pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Did he report? Did he report any? There was even a scenario. We'll get to it, guys. So Jonathan said that he found Sergeant Mohani there when he clocked in at 6:30 in the morning. Sergeant Mohani was alone in the vehicle. However, Jonathan said that he is not sure if he was alone on the day. So now that concluded Baloyi's re-examination. Now the judge started with his shenanigans, okay, and he asked about Jonathan's experience. Jonathan said that tomorrow marks 9 years since he started working as an EMPD officer. Then the judge asked, let me tell you what has happened with the police. After Steve Biko was murdered, the South African police introduced a method whereby police who were manning cells would fill in an OB, an occurrence register book, in the afternoon. When the sergeant comes, he asks everybody in that cell, any complaints? One person may say, they didn't give me food. Another person may say, Ratamu Khwatleng assaulted me. Are you aware of that practice? And Jonathan said yes. Now, I was asking myself, is this Jonathan's job description to guard cells in jails or police stations? Is that part of his description as well, job description as well, to guard the accused?
You can almost feel this and sense the annoyance when it comes to the defense. They are annoyed by these questions because they look dirty.
They are dirty.
You know, you are here trying. This is what is happening exactly. You are here trying to convince someone, presenting your case, and that person seems as if it has to have taken a certain position through his line of questioning. Where are you going to get the motivation to go and still convince that person, because you already feel that the person is convinced, because the line of questioning is saying, I'm convinced that nothing happened. I'm convinced that everything that happened was okay. You know, you are fighting the very same person who's holding your faith to say, I will give the judgment. And this is where South African law is found wandering. You know, this is a case that requires a judicial, like it or not, a jury, to sit there and listen. You know, to sit there and listen, and the judge becomes that referee that he wants to be. You know, but in all honesty, we don't need to have one person be responsible for people's life, more so if that person seems to be careless.
Already picked the side.
You know,
it's quite clear that he has, and we're not going to pretend. We are not going to pretend that we don't see it. It's quite clear to some of us that, you know what, a side has already been picked here.
It changes even how Baloyi now is presenting. The questions that Baloyi has added to these witnesses, the police,
which he didn't have before.
But
you kept repeating them so many
because
times.
you kept on hammering on them, and you have almost taken to being a position of being a prosecutor there. You are taking a position of Baloyi.
Yeah, he's prosecutor.
Baloyi is merely your administrator now. You are responsible for everything that is said there, how it's said. You are driving. We are in a driving seat.
Our judge prosecutor.
How are we going to see?
Judge.
How are we going to see the truth if we are acting this way?
Well, our prosecutor judge continued and asked, and the other aspect is that police officer who is in charge of the cells, he writes down every complaint of the cellmate. Are you aware of that? And Jonathan said yes. And he physically inspects the inmates. If that was the case, in my opinion, and I have a question for you guys. Okay. If that is the case, that he physically inspects every morning, and there's another one who's supposed to do it in the evening. If that is the case, then why was there a need to take photographs before taking their confessions? Because there's a police officer who was busy photographing accused number 2, right? The pictures were even shown in court. So if that is the case, then how come he saw a need to take photographs?
The very same judge.
In fact, there's an allegation that he was shirtless. Okay? His shirt was taken off when those pictures were taken, just to ensure that there are no injuries, right? physical injuries that were visible. So how come he did that? If there was this thing that you're saying is happening, since we're a prosecutor judge, you are on, the SAPS, you've worked for the SAPS before, maybe you've you've worked in the holding cells before, ASAS. But how come that police officer took those photographs before taking the confessions?
The very same judge was on record saying that you know how our police are.
Yes.
I would like to know what he meant by that.
Because now he's out here defending them.
I would like to know what exactly did he mean by that. If now, all of a Sunday, when it suits him, these people are looking legit all over again to him.
He didn't stop there. He said some of these entries say booked in without injuries. He doesn't just write without injuries. He inspects the inmates in the presence of Mogano, who is booking him in. And if there's an injury there, he is obliged to report it. Are you aware of that practice? And Jonathan said, that's correct, my lord. You know how dirty this is. This is dirty because you waited for the defense to cross-examine. And then when a prosecutor judge, at the end of them having done that, you come back with these dirty questions to cancel out everything, all of their work, to leave no gaps. So this is very disturbing, especially if you read it. It's disturbing. So he says that these police officers, when they are handed over the suspects, right, the person at the CSC or the officer at the CSC examines the suspect in front of Mogano, who is the police officer that brought him. Do you think that happens? Let us be honest. Do you think that's what's happening?
In South Africa?
Do you think that's what's happening?
No body camera, nothing to actually verify these things.
Nothing.
It's your words against the police.
Yes, it's the word of the accused against the police.
And then how do you think you're going to succeed that one? These people need to protect you. If you are with people, if you are arrested with people that are dangerous, they still need to protect you because the whole system, they are in charge of the whole system.
Remember, we listened to the testimony of another police officer who said that he actually booked out accused number 1 or 2 himself because the other police officers were reluctant, maybe, I don't know. He put that on the stand and he said he went and he booked out accused number 2 himself out. They had to go, it's accused number 1. They had to go to the pointing out. What was the name of that police officer? I forgot him. But he just testified recently to that. So where was the CSC booking officer who was supposed to book him out? How come he didn't want to do it? So let us not act like the police officers do their jobs to the T, as you are speaking for them right now. Very disturbing.
We interact with these people. Some of them are our brothers. They talk the dirtiness in that side. Obviously, we can say, hey, this is... But you can hear how the arrogance... If you ever been around police talking about their work... it's like, oh, that one was dealt with. That one came with 1, 2, 3. You listen to that, you could actually cringe.
You could cringe.
And then someone comes here and pretends as if our system is holier than thou.
So by the looks of things, he works with injuries. He can see where he would see an injury if a person who was tubed and electrocuted would have injuries on the body. Let that sink in. Because, wow. And also, it reminded me of Thabo Besta's stunt that time he was complaining of torture in front of cameras not so long ago. Remember that, Mr. Anonymous?
I remember.
So why would he have done that in front of the cameras, in front of the media, if they took him seriously when he complained the first time? Because he created a scene with the car. It's a better example for some people, but if you saw that footage, you would see that he waited for those cameras to do that. And that's only when his complaints perhaps were taken, in my observation of the situation. So the judge said that in the morning, a new sergeant walks in each and every cell. He conducts a parade. He's got a register and he asks each and every inmate during the last inspection up to today, do you have any complaints? Are you aware of that practice? If that is the case...
Even the guy was lost at some point.
Then why
some of the questions, the guy was lost because the procedure is not clear to him. He doesn't know some of the things.
If that's the case, then why are there gangs and bullies in prison? If that is the case, if you are saying that it happens the way to maintain order, and prosecutor judge must tell us this. He knows everything, right? So the Jonathan said, yes, my lord. They also refer to it as a handing over. Then he continued, the judge, to say, if during that period, Ratam Khwatleng says, I'm sick, I was vomiting, the sergeant at arms is there and obliged to make provision for medical attention. Are you aware of it? And then Jonathan said, yes, my lord. Now, that is the reason, not so long ago, he had to make sure that accused number 5 received medical attention when he was not feeling well. Mr. Anonymous, you remember that incident where accused number 5 was not feeling well? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And the judge himself had to ensure that he gets medical attention. Now, if he's saying that the police work like this and this is what happens, then why was there a need for him himself to ensure that accused number 5 got medical attention?
Yeah, Nat, you are back. I have submitted that the case you were busy telling us about yesterday, procedural, Mr. Procedural, I'm going to call you that. That thing was not accepted.
That's inadmissible.
It was inadmissible.
So, yeah. And then I asked myself that question, you guys. I'm like, he had to ensure that he gets medical attention. Where was the officer of the CSC for that prison that accused number 5 is held at? Okay? Where was he? I don't remember him talking to him. Do you remember such a scenario where the CSC officer came with a report to say that accused number 5 is not feeling well and we have taken him to a doctor?
You remember those guys refused to take a stand in the beginning of this case. They said in their weight, which was Ntul, lo baba lo uyakanga ufike lapha kimi eqala kabusha wathi uzochaja angazi ubani lo munye lo akekho lo muntu lo lapho. And who listened to those people?
Nobody.
Mr. Afro didn't want to listen to those people.
No. And that was their bail hearing, I think. It was a first court appearance. Nobody was listening to them.
No one wants to listen to you once you are on the other side.
Even Tanzi complained about that lawyer, saying that he wanted him to admit to doing a crime that he didn't commit, so he will take the legal aid lawyer. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody was listening. So yes, and that sergeant or officer has to annotate that complaint that I'm sick, I'm vomiting, arrange an ambulance for the transportation of an inmate to a hospital. Do you know that? That's not what happened with accused number 5. I don't remember it happening like that. You were the one who had to say he must go get medical attention. Right? right? So it didn't happen the way
You
now
ordered.
you are painting it.
And in this case, we are no longer, yes, the investigation must still be continuing, but now they have a voice through these lawyers. You can't just do as you wish.
And there are standing orders. If an inmate was assaulted, especially if that inmate can say he was assaulted by the police, the sergeant has got to annotate that complaint, and he does not have to take that man to court or to the hospital. They are going to call his superior to see that exigency. Do you know of that? And Jonathan was like, not in depth, my lord. He sounded like, yo, this is confusion. What are you saying? You've never heard of it, the judge asked. Jonathan said, no, my lord. So the judge said, you've never heard of a policeman being charged and assaulted an inmate in the cells? So were the accused assaulted in the cells, according to their version? Did that happen, judge? Then Jonathan said, I mean the process, not to that extent, my lord. Well, Jonathan affirming that that hardly happens in the police. He was so annoyed with Judge Ratamkhwatleng. He did that hand thing again, when Jonathan was not following the program. He did that. Oh, fine. He said, fine.
Right.
And then he continued to ask, but have you ever heard of a policeman being in charge of assaulting or being charged of assaulting an inmate in the cells? And Jonathan finally subsided and said, yes, my lord, I have. The pressure. Then the judge said, do you have any experience with IPID? And Jonathan said, no. The judge said, I'll wait for Sergeant Mokhano. Maybe he has. But regarding the fact that you are alleged of having viciously attacked accused number 1 and 2 when they were being escorted, and you participated in the mass assault of both of them, assaulted by you and other inmates, and there was Gininda and Rapudi Buthelezi yourself, up to now, has IPID ever investigated you? And Jonathan said no. Rapudi asking, is he still alive? And still no charges were put against you. And Jonathan said no. So this is the testimony where the accused number 2 was saying that Rapadu is the one who was asking whether he was still alive after the torturing. Right? And then he embedded it in our prosecutor judge to ask Jonathan. Yeah, but the guys, the judge is annoying. I am annoyed. I am so annoyed. So Mgomezulu approached accused number 2 for instructions. And when he came back, he said to Jonathan, it's my instruction that accused number 2, he said it in Zulu. This is what he said. He said, Ikala alboli. Crime does not prescribe. Do you know that? Meaning he can open a criminal case at any given stage. Do you know that? And Jonathan said, I can confirm that, my lord. Mgomezulu asked, another question arising from the court. Have you detained a person or a suspect in any police station? Jonathan said, yes, I have. Mgomezulu asked, have you gained access to the cells where the prisoners or suspects are kept? Jonathan said, no, my lord. Mgomezulu then asked, have you ever, in your 9 years of experience, interviewed any inmate that is already in prison or kept in custody? Jonathan said no. And during the time of detaining a suspect, have you heard any complaint directed to the person in charge of the cells to say one of the inmates is complaining of being assaulted by a police officer or the person in charge of the cells? And Jonathan said no. And all these versions that has been put by accused number 1 and 2 against you, your answer cannot be fair because those questions are directed at you. This means if you were asked by my colleague and the court to say, have you assaulted them? When expected we expected you to answer no. Would you be in a position to say, yes, I did assault them? And Mgomezulu closed his cross-examination. I did not hear the answer. Did you hear
I
the
didn't
answer?
also. I didn't hear it.
So Advocate Mnisi and Advocate Ngumalo had no further questions. Mshololo stood up to cross-examine. So here's the thing. Iqala liboli. I'm thinking these officers, maybe they didn't have their names. Now that they have their names, yeah, they can open those cases.
Exactly. Because it's not like, out of all this movement they are even saying they moved from Foslo, from Pretoria to in fact, during the arrest for status, which is not clear exactly as to why initially they even initiated moving and arresting these people. We will find out. And then later on they find ammunition and they charge them for that. And magazines, and then they move to Vusimuzi Hostel, and then move to Fosloras for some weird reason, through just a questioning of Batuba Numamfundis. Hey, Bomamfundis. Yay, we are hamba na. And then apparently this is what I'm getting.
If you watched yesterday's live, then you know. You caught it. And
then he moved from there from Foslo to where? To Diepkloof.
Yes.
And then move from Diepkloof to where? To Pretoria again.
To Pretoria.
So you tell me that you're going to be remembering all those people.
It's a lot.
No, you remember them as they come to testify and you see their faces. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this one. This is what was happening. So
yes.
Yeah. Because now you have a face and you have a name.
A name, a full name, a surname. Yes.
It was not a mistake that they took EMPD. It was not a mistake.
No, it wasn't. So Mshololo started off by asking, have you ever been in charge of the cells where inmates are kept at a police station? And Jonathan said, no, my lord. Mshololo asked, have you ever been involved in the registering or completion of the occurrence books at the police station? Jonathan said, no. In all your previous experience of 9 years, you have never worked in the CSC where inmates are controlled in the custody of SAPS. Jonathan said, that's correct. If there had been any other complaints made at the CSC, you wouldn't know how to report it. And Jonathan said no. So the judge was not going to go down without a fight, child. He wasn't gonna go down without a fight. Our prosecutor judge, he saw that Mshololo and Ngomezulu have just... Now he came and he said, have you ever heard that in South Africa a prison was killed in the holding cells? And Jonathan said, yes, my lord, I have. Then he went back, passed the ball to the defense counsel again and said, any questions? And they were all like, no.
It was like, listen to me, by fire, by force. Listen to me.
Oh my goodness, I have never seen anything like this from a judge. Guys, this is the first time, even with international cases, I've never seen anything like this. This competitiveness.
One needs to look back at the cases, the so-called high criminal cases that happened and the convictions that happened. More so when you look at the behavior of this man. When you put someone in a certain position in football, you put that person for a certain reason. In my own thinking, I'm just saying that you cannot just decide to put number 5 in a number 9 position. You will only put a number 9 in a number 9 position. Do you understand?
Perhaps there is a reputation, and we have seen one article where people, the defense attorneys, had complaints. They were complaining way back in 2008.
And the appeal was not successful, right? Exactly. So you are facing a situation where you are probably going to fail even if you were to appeal and say, even if you to apply for recusal.
Remember, he would always hint that should this case go forward, he knew that there's a possibility that the defense might do this because he has the experience. So whatever he's doing now, he's literally covering his tracks so that appeal, should it happen, maybe it ends up not being successful. Think about it. He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. So the state called Constable Craig Lering. I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. You know my issues with Afrikaans. Help me out. Lering, right? So Lering was testifying on the escort of accused number 2 to the Boksburg Magistrates Court from the Muot police station in Pretoria on Sergeant Mogani's request. Lering said, "We proceeded to Boksburg and on our arrival we used the entrance at the back. Sergeant Mogani took the suspect and we escorted them inside the court to room 2. Lering said, as we came down the passage, there's a white lady that was coming and we met her in front of room 2. And I found out later that she was Miss Grenier. She asked why there were so many officers escorting the suspect and she asked for our appointment cards. Myself and Constable Jonathan handed our appointment certificates to Sergeant Mogani before we walked outside. In the passage, we also noticed the person in a suit. Hey, this person in a suit. This person in a suit.
They can though put. Very interesting because in those questioning, they cannot say what color or what. But on purpose, you see Mgomezulu here played it very smart. What color, what kind of clothes he was wearing, color and all that. And then they start having amnesia. And then just right there, he comes back and say, what color was the accused wearing? What was he wearing? And then the guy explain it properly.
Remembers.
And when did you meet accused number 1? Same day. When did you meet this lawyer? Same day. Yet you forgot completely
the color of the suit. But you remember the suit. It doesn't it give you deja vu of the jacket of the second intruder in the house?
Exactly.
It's darkish. It's brownish.
And that's the color he gave, darkish. They always default to darkish.
Darkish.
When you pin them with the colors.
It's darkish. We are seeing the patterns. What I also found weird for him to say is that they were coming across Miss Grenier and met each other at the passage. While Miss Grenier was like, I found those police officers there.
Exactly.
So, who's telling the truth and who's lying? That is the question. So in the passage, he said, we also noticed the person in a suit. It was also made known to us by Sergeant Mogani that he was the attorney of the suspect. Where did he come from? Where did this man in a suit come from? Then Lering said that they later took the suspect back to Pretoria. Then the state concluded their evidence in chief. And Lering says, okay, this is the state asking, did you find the magistrate at the court or she found you? And Lering said, we found her in the passage walking towards the room. Oh, this was Mgomezulu, my apologies. He started his cross-examination by asking whether they found Miss Grenier there or Miss Grenier found them there. And Lering said, we found her in the passage walking towards the room. Mgomezulu then asked, she says she found you in the passage, but you saw the white lady in the passage. Lering said, that's your version. I was not here when she testified. I cannot dispute what she said.
It's not like you watched him on TV, right? Just saying. No, it's not like that.
It's not like
you were watching all these things.
So Mgomezulu then asked, there's evidence that you were heavily armed. Were you also in full uniform? And Lering said yes. Mgomezulu asked, did you have firearms? Lering said yes. Mgomezulu asked how many? Lering said 2. So per person, he said yes. Mgomezulu asked, did she tell you that she was intimidated? And Lering said, I cannot comment on that. All I can say is that she asked us why we were so heavily armed. Mgomezulu then asked, what was your answer to her? And Lering said, firearms are part of our uniform. Now, this is the first time that I've heard it. Firearms are part of our uniform. It's the first time I heard it from a police officer. I don't know. I found it rather strange. Then there was a 15-minute adjournment, and when they came back, Lering said that Mgomezulu's client is lying and that he was never taken to any area in Germiston. Lering said there are no papers that were signed in the bushes. Mgomezulu concluded Advocate Charles Mnisi and Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo had no further questions, and Zandile Mshololo started with her cross-examination. And it was very brief. I don't know if you have it, Mr. Anonymous, if you caught it.
Advocate
Mshololo of Lering. Yeah. So he asked if Lering knows if the right of being assaulted by a police officer or the other inmate is thoroughly explained to an inmate. And how would an inmate know when, how to correctly complain if they are told? And Mshololo put it to Lering that he doesn't know if accused number 2 was informed of such a right. Then Rata came back with a punch. Another one. Our prosecutor judge. Today, it was like I was watching a boxing match, you guys. That's how I felt. I'm like, so he said, asking Lering if at Pukeng, when accused number 2 was arrested, if he had been given a Section 35 letter that he signed, right? And then my question would have been, was Lering there when accused number 2 was arrested? And was he the one explaining the Section 35 214 rights to him or not? Because that's also very important. But the judge was trying to cancel that whole thing of Mshololo asking if accused knew their rights, that if they were assaulted by a police officer, then they could complain, right? And the judge was like, Section 35, which they sign or which you sign when you get arrested, has that right. After Mshololo said it's not, there's no such a
as
right.
if now he knows that happened.
It was very weird, you guys. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Because I was like, yo, begunje. It was like a boxing match. You understand? It was, yeah. Oh, the judge was looking for a TKO. It was very it was very weird.
This is someone who still has to give a judgment to what you presented. Someone who's really fighting with you with all that he has, and is still going to come back to judge himself against you.
Yeah, he just can't let the defense poke holes.
When
they poke holes, he comes in to close them for the state.
No. And this is someone who still has to rule.
For the state. Balo is sitting there nicely, chilling. The judge is closing the holes for him. It was very interesting.
He's taking notes for tomorrow. My lord.
He'll add to his re-examination.
We call witness number 110.
Who's not on the witness list.
Oh, do you need time? Oh, okay. Yeah. How many days do you need? Because you're not prepared. It's fine. How many days do you need?
I saw Mshololo's face. She
She
looks so defeated. Shaking her head. This is a nightmare. And you know what the painful part is?
How can four people
He cannot be recused, and he knows it.
How can 4 people become men? I don't understand your question, Lindane. You mean to say 4 people that were given here, that there were 4 people that were escorting this guy to where? To Boxback Court. And if that is the case, then probably you missed something, because there are others who are missing in action.
Yes, they didn't hand over their appointment certificates.
Those ones
And
that
Ms.
they
Grenier
also
could count
gave
8.
Yes.
8 of them.
8 of them. So I think, there you need to,
Well, the state called Jabulani Buthelezi. Buthelezi is one of the officers who was part of the escort. Okay. Now, before that happened, there was introduced other exhibits that were introduced. And as he's introducing them, some of them he was saying because they were requested by Advocate Nshololo. Some of them, not all of them, but they were a lot. There are 8, you guys. Number 1, a copy of the charge sheet for the Tembisa case. Now, the Tembisa case is the case for accused number 1, right? Number 2 is a cell register from Pukeng police station. This is the one in Rustenburg.
Yes.
For accused number 2. Then the occurrence book entry from Primrose police station from the 20th of June to the 22nd of June. Then a copy of a charge sheet of Pukeng court. Then occurrence book cases of Muot from the 22nd to the 24th of June. Warrant of arrest for Muziaukalela SIBIYA. Number 7 is an extract of court entries from Fosleres. And number 8 is Fosleres court cells occurrence book. So he's been sitting on this Fosleres court appearance for how long now?
You surprise me when you say he's been sitting. You see, it seems as
if there was a court appearance,
if these things,
why was it not disclosed?
some of these things he might be sitting on, in my own opinion. Some of them, they are not there. They are looked for after the hole was poked. And then you need to close that hole. Let's go find something. Some of them might not be legit. Some of them. That's my thinking. Some of them.
This Fosleres court appearance, from what we heard yesterday, sounds really dodgy. It doesn't sound clean. It sounds really dodgy. Okay? And where was the man in a suit to represent his client that he represents when he, or does he represent him when he only confesses? Now, that's how I'm interested in. This I want to see the details of. It's very interesting. So, yes, the state called Jabulani Dominic Buthelezi. And Buthelezi, who has been a member of the EMPD since 2003, said that he received a call from Sergeant Mukhula on the 30th of May 2020 about an arrest that had to be made. He said that he met her at the Tembisa police station. Now, Sergeant Mukhula is a female and is a supervisor to this Buthelezi.
Muhula, the Mamfundis.
Mamfundis, code name. Her code name is Mamfundis.
What church is this?
It's a code name. It's a name that they call each other when they are on the job, right? She chose to be called Mamfundis. I wonder why.
Yashumayela, Yashumayela. Already is on the pulpit already now.
So he says that they met her at the Tembisa police station in the company of Constable Sadiki. The 30th of June is the day accused number 1, Muzi SIBIYA, was arrested in Tembisa. So Buthelezi said, we were still trying to find out where the person we were looking for was. We waited for a while. Sergeant Mukhula on her phone. Eventually she told us where the suspect was. The state said they will be calling Sergeant Mukhula to come and testify. Buthelezi said they then proceeded to where the suspect was. And he says it was himself, Sadiki, and Mukhola. And when they got there, he said, I and Constable Sadiki went to confront these men. Baloyi asked where. Buthelezi said, at this house where we were told about, and where the men were standing just outside the house, within the yard next to the fence. Baloyi then asked, if you say they, how many were they? And Buthelezi said there were 2. Buthelezi said they used what is referred to as a tactical takedown to carry out the arrest of SIBIYA. Buthelezi said in a tactical takedown, they use authoritative words so that the suspect's mind is confused.
Like down, down, down. Stuff like that, eh?
We then requested that they should lie down. I'm asking myself, were they armed?
Oh, come on. Are you going to be
No.
asking that
I'm
question?
asking myself if the 2 people that they wanted to use a tactical takedown on, did they know whether they were armed or not? Were they armed?
And then?
Tactical takedown.
No, the tactical takedown is not to physically do that thing.
It's
You use
just
your
to
words.
confuse you.
Yes. It's like nguhlaba ngempama. It's like utsotsi akuhlaba ngempama before akuthuze.
But why ungihlaba ngempama ngimile?
Why do you think when utsotsi bakuhlaba ngempama? Because to get confused, even if you want to do something, you don't think about it. Why do you think they always
They
trap you?
didn't use the tactical takedown. Why is it that with particularly with SIBIYA, tactical takedown?
They did.
The drama.
They did.
They
how
did.
how would they have arrested him?
No, he was walking with his girlfriend and
What
they
did
came
they
up
do?
to
They
him.
said, "Okay, let's go. We're
They
going
arrested
now."
him.
Like,
Then
like,
they took him to the house.
How do you think that went? It's like, okay, let's go now. We're going. We're going to your house. Or they said, "Hey, are you so and so?"
But they
Yes, I'm
described it like
so.
that.
Yes.
The officers testified to it have been that gentle
Maybe I'm
and smooth.
confused by the word tactical takedown.
Yeah,
What he meant
that
is
word
that he
to me-
shouted. They shouted. Simple
Okay.
as that.
Then Buthelezi said the suspects did not show resistance during the arrest. He said he explained to the accused his constitutional rights during the arrest. Buthelezi said one of the rights explained to the suspect was the right to find their own doctor if they are going to pay that doctor. And he also mentioned the right to remain silent.
And the 74 hours.
74 hours. Isn't it 48 hours, guys? Not too confused. Guys, I need clarity on that 74.
as a
It
morning
was
up-
74 hours rule. He said they have the right to be incarcerated for 74 hours. Guys, I need clarity. The more I listen to these police officers, the more I get confused. Isn't it 48 hours? When did we move to 74 hours?
That's a morning after appeal. 74 hours.
Jesus, this is a long time to be held in custody without making a court appearance. How many days is 74 hours?
3 days, isn't it? And something.
No, guys, it can't be 3 days. I feel like it's more than that. 24 hours in 1 day. So 48 hours is 2 days, right? So 74 hours, that's like, okay, I can see 24 plus
No,
plus
it's
48.
3 days. 72 hours is 3 days plus 2 hours. So it's 70. It's 3 days and 2 hours.
It's 3 days and 2 hours.
Yes.
That's a long time to be held in custody without making a court appearance. 3 days is too much.
I guess we don't know that part. Maybe it's part of.
Maybe it's a
holding.
new law. Guys, I need clarity on that. When he said 74 hours, I became dizzy. I was like, what? Since when? Okay, so Baloyi then asked why. Then Buthelezi said it's important to explain that right in case the person has any sort of ailment. Buthelezi then said, I then handcuffed from the back. He directed us to where he stayed. He had a problem with the trousers he was wearing and he wanted to change it.
Now they want to be in that room, right? So they couldn't have went to that room because it's not within the proximity like they explained when they were arresting Rastaman. So the house was closed and all that. So, but now they needed to move, so his pens had to be changed and ID. So
And he said that they wanted
there was
his ID.
there was no
Wanted
need for
his
him to be
ID.
arrested with his ID.
There was no need.
So the pens issue is gonna be the one holding for the reason why they moved to the house.
Yeah, ne? So Baloyi asked what happened to the other person. He said we released him. Buthelezi said that they found ammunition. Remember, he said they arrested 2 of them. They used the tactical takedown on 2 of them. And then the other one they let go. And SIBIYA is the one that they held captive or they arrested. So, this is interesting though. The other one that they released. Why did they release him?
Because they had a warrant of so-called arrest.
So they didn't have a warrant of arrest for the other one.
No.
And then another question I have is, with SIBIYA, I hear he said they had information prior, right? They even knew what he looked like. He said when they were taking him down or using the tactical takedown, he gave them his name. His name was correct. It was according to the picture or image that they had of this suspect. So it sounds like it's a man you were already looking for. So my question is, what were you looking for him in terms of what case?
You see, that's why they had to bring the issue of substance that is not clear as yet where it stands. So the initial arrest could be claimed to be the one for a substance. Is that the one that was dismissed in court?
Wasn't it the one of illegal substances that was dismissed?
For SIBIYA.
Or is it the one of live ammunition? Because now it just popped up another one of live ammunition.
No,
Similar
that
to
one.
Ntanzi.
That one is a different one.
Well, that one is a different one.
I would assume.
Guys, with each day, I get confused more and
So
more.
so look at it this way. Let me just break it a bit. You create a facade. You go arrest someone. So that you can plant something. Then the case that you arrested him in gets dismissed. And then you arrest him again for what you planted. And then you got him.
I hear you.
Now you start your investigation. This person starts singing to Mam Fundis. When he says Mam Fundis, you go to Vusi Hostel in as you are arresting them. They start singing. You go to Fosloras now. Now you see, now we are moving around. Now we are moving, and then all of a sudden, at Fosloras, Ginindi visitors, and it's there to intercept as a person who's in charge of Mam Fundis, because Mam Fundis has found something very new. Do you understand? It is probably something very new that Mam Fundis has found, the development about Senzo's case. And then, voila, now we are moving to Deep Kloof.
Ay, baby busy. So Buthelezi said we released him. They found ammunition, a magazine, and cleaning rod inside the room where he stayed, accused number 2. And he said the suspect confirmed he didn't have the license for it. They didn't find a gun. They found ammunition, a magazine.
And when they
and
went
a cleaning rod.
to check for the mother, after finding the kids, which is the original now, the gun itself, then they find out the person that they went to check, which SIBIYA would have known that person is gone, by the way. That person, they find out that person has passed away. I guess that's the guy. Who was the guy?
I don't know.
Do you remember the guy? No, do you remember the guy that passed away? SIBIYA guy. Was it SIBIYA guy who was a friend of
SIBIYA?
No, not Muzi. The friend of Ngube or something like that.
Oh, it was uncle of accused number 5 and also resided with accused number 3 in the same room for some time. Yes, he passed away.
Yes.
I forgot the name.
Maybe that's the guy. who had the... I'm just...
We are speculating.
We are speculating here.
We are speculating.
So, now, they don't find the gun there. They find that the guy has passed away for some weird reason. Then they continue to move to where? To Vosloorus. Now, here developed the case of now Senzo.
What is
From being arrested for substance and then ammunition around there and magazine. And then you had to go point for a gun. And then from there, you should be arrested exactly there at Tembisa, right?
Yes.
Where are you going to Vosloorus? To collaborate the linking of the cell phone towers. I'm just saying.
Woo!
We never check the dates there, Bella.
Why are we still continuing with this case, guys? Like, why? Because aguna lutola ebambe guy. Like, there's nothing tangible here. Let's be honest.
There's really nothing. But, well, look at it this way. This is the case that was meant to heal the nation.
No,
but
it's
what
hurting
it
us
is
more.
doing now,
It's traumatizing us.
It's traumatizing the nation.
Traumatizing.
But to leave it now set a bad precedent. There must be something, you know. This is my thinking. Something must give. If the head is not gonna give with the DNA, it's fine. We leave that. Confession must give. If confession is not gonna give, we leave that. People in the house must come and testify and say these are the people.
And point them.
And
He's
point
the
them
one.
and cry.
I will never forget him.
So basically, we are moving all over.
Yeah.
We don't care as long as we get to close this case. However, we want to close this case. This is my thinking.
Aishem.
We will close it. However, we want to.
Aishem.
So that's why you would see a defender or a referee scoring goals for a different team. You find a referee who's a player, who's a striker, who's a corner kick taker. He scores goals. He comes back and he says center. Basically, that's what is happening.
And
now.
he's a referee.
He's a referee. He's supposed to judge the match correctly, but because he's seeing that, you know,
Shem.
for some of us who played soccer, when we decide to talk to a referee, you know what the referee would say?
What would they say?
They would say, I know that you need to win this game, but I cannot make you win this game if you play from the back only. You cannot go closer to 18 area of the other team. Take the ball to 18 area. Make sure you get inside the box. Any touch there, then it's a penalty. Do you understand?
Okay.
So if you
like a
cannot,
plan.
now you are a referee, you feel that, okay, that's your job. Your job is to actually make sure that the team is when they are in the box, you give them a penalty. And then the team cannot get in a box.
Then you go and kick the ball yourself.
Hey, and then it deflects to you. Then you say, no, I didn't kick it. It went there to the box. As they're busy fighting for it in the box,
But you kicked it.
you blow the whistle, you're like, penalty. That's basically my thinking, and that's my thing. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that, okay, it seems as if the ball is not moving as fast as it is supposed to move to the penalty area. So what am I going to do? I'm going to deflect it to that penalty so that I can judge, hey, it's a penalty. That's my thinking, and that's my opinion. I'm not saying that's what is happening.
Well, he said that the suspect confirmed that he didn't have the license for those ammunitions. And Buthelezi then said, I then invited Sergeant Mohola, who was waiting outside, to come in. Sadiki was inside. All that I found, Sergeant Mohola took and placed it in an evidence bag in front of the suspect. Buthelezi said that while he cannot remember the exact time, it was during the day towards 1 o'clock when he was arrested. And Buthelezi said, after a while, we needed to go to a hostel that was not far from where we were. We were going to look for a firearm, which, according to Sergeant Mohola, had been given to someone who was at the hostel.
Now you see?
Now, Baloyi asked, which hostel was this?
This Sergeant Mohola just requested a bit of time. Listen to the process. I think you probably might have missed something. These ones of tactical force,
Yeah.
they got out of the car. As men as they are, they left a woman behind to say, we're not chiller here. We'll deal with this situation. We'll use our voices like lions. We'll roar. And then these people will go down.
Go down. Tactical takedown.
And then comes this one who's a pastor now, who's got this pastor thing. You can simply confess. And then he says, can I please have time with this guy? As he's handcuffed now, you know?
Yes.
I would assume the lions move out because Mamfundi has spoken.
In them cuckoo.
Now he's left with this guy, two of them. In a couple of minutes or something, I don't know, he gives an order. Hey, tell us, Wazan, we are going to Vusumu's now.
Hostel.
Hey,
In Tembisa.
that means this man has sang that there is something there in Vusumu's.
Yeah.
As they go there, which could be just be a decoy in my own thinking, that, okay, we just needed to have a direction of where we are going. But in any case, we are going to Fosloras. Do you understand? Vusumuz is just a passing area. Is there anyone you know at Vusumuz or used to know at Vusumuz? Yes, we are going there. We are going to check for this guy. And then, voila, that person has passed away. You could have told us, Muslim Kuku, that person has passed away. And then from there, you move to Fosloras. Because you couldn't explain the situation where you move direct to Fosloras.
No.
No. You arrest a person for whatever warrant of arrest there, and then you just move to Fosloras. No, it was going to be suspicious. So it has to go through Tembisa, and then from Tembisa, maybe you confess some more in that hostel when you realize that, hey, actually this person has passed away. You confess some more. Let's go to Fosloras. In Fosloras, there's something happened. There, when we were there and enjoying ourselves, we happened to go and rob the Kumalus there. And then from there, you know, I'm trying to piece a story for you what is happening. And you know, when we are marking a grade 12 paper, you are expecting a grade 12 thinking, and then you find that this person is actually not even supposed to be in grade 7, and this is what this case is doing. And then right there, when we are there, voila, you call the cold case investigating person.
What a journey.
And then you wait for that person in where? In Fosloras.
Yes.
In Daweni is Gamego.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Place of the incident.
Yes. You wait there. Down the story starts. Now, if you think about it, that is when Danzi was born to problems. In my thinking, that is when Danzi was born. Because there, Chief, tell us who's your friend. Who can be your friend? Who do you know? I know Danzi, Pela. What can I do? I need this thing to stop. I know Danzi. And Danzi was born. Same way Danzi also keeps ammunition somewhere in his room.
Yeah, in
Rustenburg.
In a black plastic bag.
In a black plastic bag. Yes. Like, but Yazin.
This black plastic bag. This will look.
They keep these ammunitions as if they babege imbiza zabo somewhere. Where imbiza for those who know imbiza. You close it and you hide it. The muti that you
smaller plastics and then you put it in a big plastic and then you hide it. Yeah.
You know, and then both of them, they are using the same tactics. They are from that side of Ulundi, or someone might be coming from Mahlabathi, but they know each other. Should be capnelana lezinto lezi. Omunye ucapnela omunye wathi ayibopha mkhaya, bopha ngeplastic eblack. Nami ngibophe ngeplastic eblack.
This black plastic bag, you
And
guys.
these police and this
that
police
has ammunition.
and this police, they don't look at wardrobe or anything. They're
No,
looking
they
for
just-
black plastic.
They find it there, that black plastic,
Aye.
waiting for them.
Aye.
I get. Nisikhulumisa kakhulu.
Aye.
Okay, you guys make us talk a lot.
I love seeing people talk.
No, you just like seeing us talk. at
You
this point.
enjoy it.
Ayikho lento lena. No ways. So, we made inquiries. This is what Buthelezi said, and we were told that the person died a long time ago. Now, this person that they went to look for in Vusmusi hostel in Tembisa. And he says, I don't remember his name, but he was the friend of the accused. Buthelezi said that they then proceeded to this hostel to look for the suspect's friend, whom they were informed that had passed on a while back. And this happened after Sergeant Mogola, who was inside the shack with accused number 2, requested a private conversation. Then Buthelezi said, we then proceeded to Vosloorus. But when Sergeant Mogola informed me that we were going to Vosloorus, then I called some of my guys who were in the vicinity. We gathered outside Vosloorus. Sergeant Mogola then informed me that Brigadier Gininda was on his way. He arrived and had a conversation with the suspect. Buthelezi said they then went to Araton. The suspect was taken into the offices in Araton. That's when I then went to the car. After a while, Sergeant Mogola and I left and went to Pretoria. Buthelezi said they went to Vosloorus as they searched for a gun. Later, he says Brigadier Gininda arrived and had a conversation with the suspect in Mogola's car. This before they traveled to Araton and then went to Pretoria, where the suspect was put into custody. So the state concluded, leading the witnesses' evidence, an advocate Tulani Mgomezulu for accused number 1 wanted to start his cross-examination. But he said that at the back of the documents that they were handed to them, these new exhibits that I told you guys about, he would rather start the cross-examination tomorrow, okay, because they received these documents today. Matters should be stood down until tomorrow. So the state did not object. We will see tomorrow Advocate Ngomezulu's cross-examination. He's not going to sleep tonight.
You see, I see many people saying that. Why is the defense not calling? They're waiting for the state. The state is still showing us the circus here. No, we are told that there's 100 and something people that
Yes.
are to follow.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, there's a lot of witnesses. Some are not on the list, on top of the 100 and something that are on the list.
So basically, we will wait until Jesus comes back.
This is a marathon. I told you guys. It's a marathon, this case. We will see at the end how it ends.
There is no win in this case.
No.
No win in this case. Even if you win and you appeal, you win this thing again. So there is no win.
No.
So what do? You keep on running.
Basically.
You keep on running. Because if you stop, then someone must account
Yes.
to say, okay, chief, you have stopped now. Where to? Oh, forgot. Kinda the deputy person. Who's this deputy?
The DPP.
DPP, yes. Said, in case this does not go through, therefore we start 375.
Yes. But I don't know if it's
But
going to happen.
375,
It's getting squashed with this one.
375 was dead before it was born.
They called it, it's from a junior.
Yeah, they said names about
It's a
it.
lot
So
to debunk it.
what do you do for 375 not to come on board? You simple keep on running around, chasing your tail. What happens? Eventually the judge does what he does, he gets recused, we start afresh again. Because, I mean, there are other factors that I'm looking at. You cannot simply behave like this, erratic, in a manner that is almost obvious to a lay person, to see that this is you doing these things. You are playing a corner kick and you want to go and score also, same time, you know. You can only do this if you want to be recused. And then what does recusal mean?
Another de novo.
De novo, we start afresh. We are back to square one.
No, I can't take that. My mind can't take that. We'll accept whatever, even though some of us can already see what the verdict is. Okay, we will. I don't know.
Yeah, at this point, we are saying, even if it means that there must be, these guys, they must take this fall so that they can go appeal and then something happens. I don't know, because seemingly, I mean, it's not, you know, you hide your feelings, you hide everything if you are going to do such, you know. You don't show your feelings, you don't wear your heart in your hand.
You're a judge.
You are a judge, you know.
I can wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a lane man. You cannot.
No.
You're a judge.
No.
You took some oath.
So this behavior is telling me
not
that...
to do that.
It's telling me that perhaps we are in a situation where... Or it could be that as you get old, the true you becomes more visible. Maybe. Who you've been all along. And in any case, he's always been opinionated when it comes to cases. He was almost recused for some of these cases.
You know, I've heard in America that if a lawyer, or it mostly happens to prosecutors, where they are found to be dodgy and corrupt and they are convicted, they have to look at all the cases
that you have went through.
And usually, in most cases, they find a pattern. The pattern is always there. They find it.
Yeah, because once you start acting in a certain way, you become that person. Right, guys. Like the video. Share
Please
the
like
video.
the video, guys.
You
Press
can
that
call
like
in
button.
right now.
We're still wanting you guys to press the like button. We're begging you for likes over here. We're
Yeah, we
not
do.
ashamed.
We do beg you for likes. We are nothing without your likes. Hello, family. No, Mr. Anonymous. Someone who was charged for drugs today is Ndando, according to Mshololo. Is Ndando, Ndanzi.
Ntanzi.
According to Mshololo, was discharged and he was transported to Pokang same day and was charged after midnight for ammunition. That begs the question: where was he charged? Why was he still there?
Hey, well, guys, nitini.
Yeah, that's what happened, isn't it?
Wow.
Isn't it what happened?
So they started even with illegal substances with him. I thought it was just accused number one.
Was it Danz or I think he meant SIBIYA.
It's SIBIYA.
Yes.
Oh, but then if he was taken to Rustenburg, the one who's taken to Rustenburg is accused number two. It's in Tanzi. It means they did the same thing.
No, Danz it's ammunition.
It's just ammunition.
Mm.
So with the illegal substance case.
But let me ask you a question. They got this ammunition in the house. What were they doing there?
They said he wanted to change his trouser.
Danzi.
Not Ntanzi, SB.
I'm saying Danzi.
Well, with Ntanzi, they went to his place.
Because it was pointed out. Why did they go there?
With Ntanzi, we don't really know what happened, do we? On that day, he got arrested.
Told you you're chasing your tail. You're getting confused even.
Because I remember they said he got arrested and then he went. He was telling his own version via Ramosipit at the time.
Yeah.
And then they took him to his place of residence.
Yes.
With no search warrant.
Yes.
and it was a place called in Rustenburg. I even forgot the name. We read it out here in the channel.
We did.
And then they opened the door of his place, his room, and then they found this ammunition, and then they charged him for that in Rustenburg. And then there was mention of Nongoma case. Guys!
Just recently, Nongoma case came recently.
I'm like, how is Ntanzi now connected to Nongoma case? Please, someone explain.
They are coming back.
Guys, please explain
Mzansi,
to
hello?
me what's happening.
Dancy, hello? Can you can you hear me? Can you just hold a beat so that I connect you? Yeah, you're connected now. Shoot. But it seems as if we are connected, and I'm trying to connect this phone on. Is there no other connection that is in?
Nope.
No, I mean, all right, I'm gonna have to resort to option number 2. Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you, but we just want to connect you properly so that everyone else can hear you.
All right.
Okay, guys, we're having a technical difficulty.
Okay, shoot. Can you have your background reduced then?
Yeah, you are audible, you are clear, you can shoot.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was just raising a point that if you can see the case that Rata was presiding over, the GP's Town massacre, and the Mzuli case, you'll see how he judges cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it's what I want just to put on record, that he is not good, especially the GP massacre. Go and check it, then you'll see how mistakes he did there. Yes.
So he's a mistake person,
Yes.
allegedly.
Yes. Just go and check the GP massacre.
Yeah.
Okay, we will do so, sir.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Right. No, it's Ndanza, according to Msholo, not SIBIYA as well, as we all know. Msholo got that on the register book of Fosloras, just to know how these cops are so corrupt and lying, allegedly. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Hello.
I say, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. No. How are you?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man, this case is it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like we like watching a horror movie. I mean, you have people that are coming to testify. You have people that are coming.
Yeah.
The person is a sergeant for 36 years.
Yes.
Let me say constable for 36 years. Clearly, for all those years, they've been doing something wrong. Since from day one, they started to work, they've been doing something wrong. And then you have a judge that is, all over the show. He's supposed to be the referee, but instead he's not a referee. He's a player, he's a coach, he's a technical director, And again, when you look at this case, there's a pattern here. These guys, they were arrested for ammunition. Now, they're arrested for drugs. Now it's no longer drugs. They're being attached to Senzo's case. What happened to those cases? They just end. They just disappear like a mist. So I don't know, my man. You know what? That's what I said yesterday. That you know what, Balo is just throwing everything all over the show. Anything that can speak, it will just speak. Because of, what my question is, I always ask people that what is this case still doing in the court? Because of there's no case here. There is no case unless if Mr. Kininda would come and then tell us. But for me, I don't see a case, my man. I don't see a case. Like even NPA, where Shamila she is right now, she must be like ashamed of herself. That is she leading people who are doing all these kinds of wrong things. Man, when was the last time you see somebody being arrested for something else? Now they are charged for something else. We know these guys, some of these guys, they're criminals. They've got their own cases, whatever.
Yes.
But like some things, they don't really make sense. They don't. Like I was arguing with somebody on Facebook, and I said to him, accused number 2 was working at the mine.
Yeah.
And then he booked a leave in July. It so happened that the weekend that he goes home in October, Senzo is murdered. Then they say, no, this guy took leave to go and murder Senzo. How come he took leave in July and then you go and murder somebody in October? That you've never even seen there.
His one has autism. he plans
no, I was
everything in
telling
advance.
Exactly. Like you plan everything in advance. Come on, my man. You know, I said to this guy, man, come on. Sometimes we must not be dumb cops. We must just be smart. The other things they don't brain. And another thing, again, you know, with this, I don't know why they keep calling cops on this to testify. Come on, man. These people are coming to testify. They say the same thing.
Over and over and over.
Over and over. Come on. Yesterday it was Wendell, Jordan, Logan. Today it's somebody else who says the same thing. And Macron said it that he found those guys waiting there. So we don't know between Macron and the cops who is lying because of. And another thing is they say these guys, they say there were 4. Macron says he saw 8 guys. And then only 2 gave him the what you call the appointment card or appointment certificate.
6 is not accounted for.
6 is not accounted for. So I think we are being played, my man. Like we are being played. You know, we are being played, and this as you said, this case is supposed to heal us. It's traumatizing us.
It is.
It's traumatizing us. Like somebody was asking, why are there so many people with so many police officers? Since for 3 weeks there's been officers testifying. There's only one magistrate who was testifying, or one person. It was Cronier. Everybody has been cops. Cops. Tomorrow it's cops. Come on, guys. Magege, guys. Magege. That's what I said last week, that let's digitalize SAPS. If we're digitalizing SAPS, there was going to be proof.
Yeah, there was.
There was going to be proof.
Yeah.
And another thing, logically, if you take somebody from Procellaras, you take them to Pretoria. You move them from Pretoria, you take them to Rustenburg. You move them to Rustenburg, you take them. Don't you think in between there's going to be assaults that are taking place? Because of your desperately, you want the truth. So I don't understand what the Honorable Judge Rata is trying to say.
Honorable.
About this. Oh, not so honorable. Because of this thing is, it's like, what he's saying, it's, today what was he saying about the CSC officer? This is what is supposed to happen, but it's not happening. Many people have been complaining about cops beating them up. If cops could beat the this guy Rodovan Krecher and Rodovan Krecher is he's a gangster of gangsters, if I can use that word. If cops can beat Rodovan Krecher, what more about Abuntan? What more about SIBIYA? Those people are just nothing. If they can beat a guy who has people to smuggle things for him in prison, what more about Abuntan? What more? So whatever he's saying, he's just talking. Maybe he's trying to, as you say, he's trying to close the loopholes. Cops beat every day. Cops beat people every day. And even where you can go, where if you can go and hang around where police officers hang around, you will be shocked. They will even tell you, lawyer, hey, I'm shy, what's why come in? Lawyer, they talk. For them, it's a general thing. I'm a person talking like, no, that guy moved him, that guy beat him. And you see, even when that guy was said yesterday that you pity, the other guy said, Twelang die money, man. You know, it means those guys were beating him. And they can deny and say, I have no knowledge, not that they beat him. But the mere fact that they moved him around, they moved him.
Yeah.
And funny enough, when you said that as soon as Ntanzi is seeing those guys, his memory starts recalling, this is so and so. A brain is something else. It's more powerful than a computer because of its thought. And the moment you see something, you remember, this is so and so. You start connecting the dots.
Yeah.
You start seeing, this was so and so. Even look, that's why I'm always saying to people that this guy was observing things. Though he was in the midst of problems, people moving around, he was observing things. He could see what is happening around him. If he can be able to see, Rapadu was with a woman and the woman was with a child, he could see everything. So guys, I'm straight.
Yeah, no.
Okay, guys, great show.
Thank you.
Thank you. And when you think you're going to die, right? You want to capture. Being in a near-death experience, the memory becomes
We don't need to
intensified.
explain further. All I can say is that old people who are very old, not educated as us, but isizulu umenzi uyakhohlwa, umenziwa akakhohlwa.
Powerful for our English or our non-Zulu speakers. Please translate.
Yo, that should be a big English. Mzanzelo,
Linear Nation.
Sigona, say how are you?
I'm just calling on one thing.
Yeah.
I want my data from Baloyi, the judge. I want my data because they're wasting our data here. No, man, all I want is my data, please.
What did back?
No, I want my data. How can a judge show us that he has already found the guys guilty? Well, in the eyes of the judge, those guys are already guilty. Just waiting for that last day to say, all of you, 100 years life, 100 years, 100 years, 100 years in jail. That's what he's waiting for that. Remember that day he wrote when he asked for that guy to go and look for the documents in KZN. Then he was supposed to write something to say you did not get it, what. How can you have wrote that a night before without knowing that what's going to happen the following day?
He's more proactive, this one.
I want my data. If I can find where that rapper is staying, I want my data. He's finished me today. How can you show? The witness must give a testimony, then after that, thank you, say. That's all. Now the witness testifies after that. Yeah, but they do this, they do that. This guy, where does he live? Because we all know people are being killed in jail. People are being tortured. Remember that guy, that politician from Cape Town or wherever, where the police they claim that he hanged himself on the stand. Only now it's surfacing that the police have tortured him. This Judge Rata, where does he stay, that guy?
He stayed in a stone age.
Yeah, maybe say the Stone Age where things are not happening. Now, Baloyi, please, Rata, my data. You wasted my time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now I want mine back. And the time, I can't get my time. We are going nowhere.
Nowhere.
There's nothing nothing tangible.
And then you find people who are still thinking that there's something called law. They are busy saying according to law. According to what? That's garbage, man, that thing. For the lack of a better way, that thing is just waste of time. Look at what is happening.
And to even think that they are here because they come from Imkuku, as Buthelezi said. They didn't have money for the lawyer at the beginning.
Where would they have gotten the lawyer?
Because they didn't have a lawyer. Now they are here. They are in
where
this
they
mess.
couldn't even call
Where
their families.
They are watching a prosecutor and the prosecutor judge doing all of the things that they're doing in court. It's unending torture.
SIBIYA is watching. You can see his face is disgusted when the judge does that thing. SIBIYA, I saw the face of SIBIYA. They showed it. What it does, what this judge is doing, icon.
It's unending torture. It's unending torture. And there was also...
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
At the back. At the back.
Switch off the background noise from the television.
Okay. Is it fine now?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I shoot?
Yes, shoot.
Okay, Emily, I was just wanted to put a fact that Gininda was involved in the creature case with the torturing. That is why he is involved in this Senzo case. You see, so if the defense, if it can get those people who were assaulted by Gininda just to prove to the court, because the magistrate doesn't believe that they were tortured, those boys, by Gininda. I don't know whether you get my point.
Yeah.
Because in the case of Krecha, there was a policeman who was working with the Hawks, who was with Krecha and all this. They were assaulted by Gininda and they were tortured by Gininda. So as I'm saying, if the defense can get those people just to prove a point that Gininda is working with the EMPD and that SWAT police who they've just disbanded, they were just meant to do that, because this case it was supposed to be handled by the SAPS, but how come is it handled by the Metro Police? It's giving another doubt. It's very strange that a person can be arrested by the SAPS, now is shifted to be handled by the EMPD. It gives another direction.
In the form of escorting. Yeah. No, we hear you. We hear you.
Yeah. No, thanks very much, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Even though you said it's a fact, it's your view.
It's his own opinion and
Own
speculation.
opinion and your
The views
speculation.
and opinions expressed
Yes.
on Senzo Reality are not that of the channel,
Yes.
but rather of the
Yes.
callers and
Yes.
the hosts separately as themselves. Disclaimer.
That's exactly the disclaimer.
So yeah, I need a translation for what you said. For our non-Zulu audience, please. Please say it again. Umenziwa akakhohlwa. So let me try and translate. The perpetrator forgets, and the person or the victim doesn't forget. The perpetrator forgets, and the victim does not forget, never forgets. That's the translation. I hope you guys appreciate it and press the like button. Okay, translating is not easy.
Yeah, and more so when it comes to these is issue nezaka nan what. And
Yeah.
easy blade and easy.
It's like your brain works double.
Yeah.
So
Let's hear people calling maybe and also in fact I need to do something. So guys, if you're not calling, I'm gonna shut down as usual.
okay.
As usual. I'm gonna be done. Please like the video, share the video, and thank you very much for going in this chain with us. We hope that Mzazi, hello. Hello.
Anonymous.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
Good. Hello, this is Emily. How are you?
Hi, I'm good in yourself.
Good to see you glowing on my screen.
Thank you.
Oh, you're glowing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. I just have an observation, right?
Yeah.
And there's police officers, right? The EMPD or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah.
To me, like they are Gininda's lapdogs.
Yeah.
And you know what? This Jonathan guy, yesterday he said, Gininda, trust me, like as in trust. What does it mean when he says Gininda trusts him? He trusts him in doing what exactly?
Yeah.
And the other thing, like, if you realized yesterday, Ntanzi, he looked so traumatized, eh? He was so traumatized, like, it was just so sad. And if the judge, if he is somebody who is impartial, and if he's somebody who is observant,
I'm trying to observe you. Come on.
Oh my God, I needed to hear the rest of that.
Yeah.
which if he observed the body language of Ntanzi, Izolo, he was going to find out something, because that was so sad. It was really sad. That's all I have to say. Thank you and have a very good night. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it even feels like he doesn't even look at the accused. I don't think he looks at them much.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us again. Like the video, share the video. Thank you. I think today was confusing enough. Need to confuse it further. There are a lot of things that are not answered, so we need answers tomorrow. It's a bye from me.
Creating confusion, that seems to be the strategy.
That's why they're starting from the back to the front. Yeah, it's a bye from me, guys. Emily?
Hi. Bye, guys. Bye. Until tomorrow, until another one. It's a banana tomorrow.
Yeah, before I leave, though, me thank you, Mtozi Slanga, thank you. Dio, thank you. Dipuo, Obinyati, Zamani. Yes, Nati. See, people, Nati for the law. Let's see. Elizabeth, thank you. Ansi Kemo, thank you. Samuel, Radeb, thank you. Nate, thank you. Ned. Let me see. Zamani Kwabe Sizwe Mkaka, thank you. Modley, thank you. SG Kundunkomo, thank you. Kudunkomo. I want to get it right. This is our meme. SD Kudunkomo. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Piwa Lachwayo, thank you. And then let's see. Nzonzi, thank you. Jeremiah, thank you. I know you're gonna kill me for not calling your name. BJ, and yeah, that's basically how far I can go. Thank you guys for being with us. If I didn't call your name, tomorrow is the day. We're still gonna be calling your name. Bye, everyone. Bye. Mamzita, thank you. And then Siabulela, thank you. Blessing, Mabena, thank you. Snentlanta Bengu, thank you. It's a bye from me.